Guys, have you ever encountered a fragrance that is so delicious smelling that you want to eat it? Or how about that, have you ever encountered a fragrance that smells so addicting that you want to keep spraying it over and over and over again? Well, I'm talking about a fragrance from a new house today I'd never heard before. I heard about the fragrance on Lucky Scent probably a few months before I went to Europe. And when I came back, I placed an order for the fragrance from Initio Parfums Paragon, and finally also ordered a bottle of Escapade Gourmande. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about this very delicious and yummy vanilla fragrance called Escapade Gourmande by a perfumer by the name of Vincent Ricord. I had not heard about this perfumer, but what he's done here is a really super delicious gourmand for the vanilla lover. So if you're curious to find out about Escapade Gourmande, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today we're talking about another vanilla fragrance. How many vanilla fragrances could I have? I am the vanilla lover. Vanilla is my second favorite note next to patchouli. They're so different, but they're so satisfying. I really am addicted to these smells. And with patchouli, it's a little more exciting as a note. With vanilla, it's more of a, more comforting, like satisfactory. It's just like soothing and calming, and that's what I like about vanilla fragrances. It takes me back to home where my mom bakes and, cooks and things like that. And the kitchen is smell of these like beautiful vanillic smelling desserts, and that's kind of what I like about it, because I love home cooked meals, especially baked goods and desserts, and this is exactly what it translates to here, Escapade Gourmande. So for me, it's very addicting. I keep wanting to spray it. It smells so delicious. I keep wanting to spray it. So when I keep spraying it, it smells so delicious, I almost want to eat it. It's just, that's the kind of fragrance it is. So it's finally here. I'm loving this particular fragrance, and I'll let you know what it's all about. It's Escapade Gourmande, which I like the name. And I had never heard of Maison Mataha before, and they only have one fragrance. At least that's what's selling at Lucky Scent. The only one is this. It came out last year, and the perfumer is Vincent Ricord. And again, I don't know this perfumer, but I looked up his name, and I noticed that he's created a bunch of fragrances for HFC. So I don't know this brand, and I just discovered it recently, and so he's done those fragrances, but this is the only fragrance he's done for this house, as it's their only fragrance. But this is selling at Lucky Scent at 100 ml for $2.15, and the concentration is Extrait de Parfum, and it's really long lasting, but it's not a beast mode fragrance, if that makes sense. It lasts and carries on the day for a long time, but for me, this is not the kind of fragrance that's like overwhelming beast mode, as I said. Like, it's not gonna have the biggest cloud and sillage and things like that, because I feel like the fragrance itself is the kind of fragrance that's soft and fluffy, like marshmallows, if that makes sense, because there's a kind of a custardy quality about this. And for me, it's not the kind of fragrance that screams. It's not a screamer, but it has great longevity, it has great legs, and that's what I like about it, because it's a very cozy fragrance, and it's actually perfectly suited to wear in autumn. I think autumn is the best month for this. Those chilly days outside, warm inside with a fire, spritz on some of this stuff and it'll satisfy you and soothe you. But it features notes of black sugar, vanilla, tonka beans, and musk. And it's an intoxicating combination of notes. That's the only notes they say here for this particular fragrance. I do get some other touches here. Certainly I get something a little milky, but more like thick cream milk, more like custard, at least to me. It feels like, or wears like, a very thick custard with vanilla, like an overdose of vanilla. But along the way, I get some caramelly touches for sure, a little burned, not too much, and also some butterscotchiness. Definitely got the butterscotchiness here for sure. But in the end, it's just an overdose of vanilla. It might remind you of some other vanilla fragrances. Like for me, it does remind me of Tihota a little bit, maybe even Fire at Will, but it's not smelling like that particular, like those two fragrances, because there's a lot more that's happening here. For me, as I said, this one wears like a custard, and you can really feel the thickness of the fragrance and the gloppiness, and custard is kind of like thick and gloppy to me, and so that's how it wears. Plus that lactonic touch it has a little bit, but more cream-like, more milk-like, rather than like a thick cream rather than a thin, watery kind of a milk thing is what I'm trying to say. All rolled into a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. For me, it's very satisfactory and very, very addicting. And I love vanilla, as I said. And even though I've sampled vanilla fragrances like this, in the end, it's similar to other fragrances and then it's not, if that makes sense. So for me, I get similarities and differences from other vanilla fragrances. So I'm going to say there's a familiarity about this, but also something new about this particular fragrance, because I like that whole custard-like quality. I don't know how you guys wear fragrances and what you notice when you're wearing. I can actually feel texture and differences in fragrances, when for me this one is definitely thick and custardy with an overdose of vanilla sweetness. Really, really yummy fragrance. I really, really hope you guys get to try this one, because you're gonna love it. If you're a vanilla lover, you're gonna love it. And it's sweet, but not overly sweet. Like, it's not tooth-rottingly sugary sweet. So it's not going to be that kind of a fragrance. But then again, there are some people that don't like vanilla in general, so this might come off uber sweet for them. For me, it's not really, really sugary sweet, like not Pink Sugar or Billie Eilish's first fragrance, Eilish, which is, I felt like, too sugary sweet. And I think it's sweet, but there's that kind of custardy milk-like thing in here that kind of tones down its sweetness. Anyway, that's what I have to say about Escapade Gourmande. It's a brand new house. I don't know what they'll do after this particular fragrance. Launching one brand with one fragrance, that's kind of a cool idea. Normally I've seen brands launch with at least 3 fragrances or 5 fragrances, but this one, they just launched a gourmand fragrance called Escapade Gourmande, featuring an overdose of vanilla, and I think they've done a great job. At least Vincent Ricord has done a great job, and I can only wait to see what Maison Mataha will create next. I'm hoping they continue with the gourmands, because they did such a bang-up job with this one. It's so yummy. So I'm hoping that they go to the next level and do something similar with a chocolate, and maybe after that, maybe a coffee or something. Who knows? But I'm very, very satisfied with Maison Mataha's Escapade Gourmande, and as you can see, I've worn quite a bit of it, because it's just that. It's very, very intoxicating, very delicious, and very, very addicting. I want this smell. I kind of want to eat it, right? Anyway, after this video, I'm going to go grab myself some kind of a sweet pastry. But in the meantime, if you guys don't know Escapade Gourmande, go check it out at Lucky Scent. That's the only place I saw this. In fact, that's where I heard about it first, because I'm on the Lucky Scent newsletter, and I've been eyeing this fragrance for the longest time, but I had to put it off ordering it until I came back from Europe. But highly recommend it, Escapade Gourmande. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. Have you tried this particular fragrance? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Are you a fan of vanilla? Are you familiar with Vincent Ricord? Did you hear about Maison Mataha? Let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. Either way, appreciate you tuning in. As I said, if you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.